So I am here today to finally make my trip report video. Yes, I have sunglasses on. Yes, I am at the beach, and I'm sorry that I'm not using my camera because it just died when I was almost done recording this video. But no worries, I'm gonna record it again and again and again and again and again because I want to make this video. So yeah, I hope you can deal with it and deal with my phone, and I hope you can deal with the fact that my sunnies are broken. I hope that didn't piss you off that I said that, but yeah, I really think they are. Maybe I'm just holding the camera wrong. Regardless, let's get into it. So basically I was in Noosa in Australia, and it was my last night, and I was flying to the other side of the country of Australia the next day. So I decided that I was going to take all of my drugs before I went on the plane. So I rented an Airbnb all by myself at the beach, and decided to do DMT for the first time by myself. Probably not the best decision, but nonetheless, that's what I decided to do. So basically, I'm in this Airbnb, and it's the cutest place. It was so cute, and this was like 4 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon. I was trying to like bring myself to do the DMT. I had this nice little like small, it was like pretty private, like they had a privacy fence up, but it was this backyard area, like a patio or something. So I was in this little area, and it wasn't so private, like I could hear the neighbors around me, and it kind of tripped me out a bit, but they couldn't really see me. Like they could if they looked through the fence, but so it was pretty much secluded, but I couldn't really bring myself to do the DMT in the moment because I was like kind of scared. I've never done any psychedelics other than doing shrooms, and that's the only really like drug I've ever done. So I mean, if you count weed, but yeah, I don't really count that. So I had never done LSD, I'd never done DMT, I had no idea how to do it. So here I am, trying to get myself to do it, and I'm just like fucking scared. I was so scared. And at the last minute, this was like 3 or 4, I like backed out and I was like, no, I can't do it. I was just too scared. So I decided to do LSD. And the tab that I had was quite old. I had it for like 2 months. And so I decided to take that one. And yeah, it was just like an hour after I took it, I wasn't feeling anything, and I thought it was just really strange because everywhere I looked it said like 30 minutes you should be kind of like tripping, and I wasn't feeling anything, and it almost felt like I was microdosing LSD, which I've done quite a bit. It felt like I was on a strong microdose. Oh, so that was pretty weird. Sorry, I'm like okay, I think I'm better now. I just need to figure out like how to hold it. Is that good? Maybe. Okay, yeah, that's good. So what was I saying? Yeah, the LSD. So this was like 4 o'clock. I decided to take it, and an hour in I wasn't feeling anything. So basically I was like, if 2 hours pass and I'm still not feeling anything, I'm gonna do the DMT, because I like was determined to have a trip that night. So I was like, whatever. And I knew it's probably not best to do like the DMT with LSD, especially if it's my first time. It probably wasn't the best decision, but in my head, like, I thought it would be pretty good. Plus, I will add, I was having a full-on Phenibut withdrawal during this. Like, yeah, Phenibut withdrawal. Oh, that was so bad. I was like depressed and like all of the withdrawal symptoms. Yeah. But yeah, okay, so anyways, let's get back into the trip. So, I keep getting so we're doing it. We're doing the DMT. So, I went down to the patio. This was at like 6 or 6:30. I went down to the patio and I sat down and I tried to light the DMT, and for some reason, like, I was having troubles. I really didn't know how to light like a crack pipe because that's what you have to use to smoke it. That's all I had. Well, I didn't have it. I had to order it like weeks before. But anyways, I didn't know how to light it. So I was pretty confused, and at first I thought it was burning it, and it just wasn't lighting, and I was getting really frustrated just because it wasn't working. Like, it was not working. I had no idea what I was doing. So after like 30 minutes of doing this, I kind of gave up and decided to, oh shit, sorry. I decided to, what did I decide to do? I just gave up. Like, I went upstairs and just like, I was like, fuck it, like, I can't do this. And then I like had dinner, I think, and then hung out for a bit, and then I was like, you know what, like, it was starting to get dark at this point now. This was like 7 or 8, and I was like, you know what, I'm having a DMT trip. Like, I have done all of this. I've rented an Airbnb by myself. I have to throw it away tomorrow anyway, so before I get on my plane. So I was like, I am going to have a fucking DMT trip. So I went back downstairs and I tried to light it again. And this time, like, I ended up looking it up on YouTube, how to light DMT. And I saw a nice little video that kind of taught me. And so I did this, and if you know anything about it, you have to like hold the flame for a really long time. And it was like really burning my hands at this point. To kind of like, I know I'm gonna say it wrong, but like melt or like really burn the DMT. You have to hold it down for a long time. And so I was doing this, and I was kind of like feeling my heart race. Like, I would basically just wait until I saw like the tiniest bit of smoke and then inhale and hold it in, and that's not what you do. But I didn't know that, so basically I just kept inhaling these little bits of smoke, and it would make my heart race, and I could like feel that it was DMT like inside of me, because my heart was like boom 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 boom, and like pounding so fast. But nothing was really happening, and you could tell that like my mind was like going in, like trying to get its way into the to blasting off, and then it would like come back out, and it would go back in and come back up, and I wasn't having like an actual DMT trip at all. So finally I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna light this sucker and like leave the flame on forever. So I did this, and like finally a few, like 2 minutes later, it started smoking, like smoking quite a lot, like thick milky smoke. So I inhaled it and kept it in for as long as I could. And it's really hard because your heart is pounding so fast, and my hands were shaking like I could barely even hold the pipe because my hands were shaking so bad. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take one more hit, and I did like one. So this is 2 like official hits at this point. I did one more, and I should have done another one, but so what happened was I kind of saw myself like come out of my body and move away. Like I was behind my body, and like in front of me I could see like my hands holding the pipe in front of me, but it was like no one was home. It was kind of like my like spirit left the body for a bit, and at this point I but didn't go off like to another planet. Sounds crazy, but it was kind of like I came out of my body for a second, and then I closed my eyes and I saw kind of this like grid thing like folding in on itself. It was like all of these geometrical shapes, and then this, all I could think of was like everything I knew, like reality was folding in on itself, and kind of dissolving. And I opened my eyes after this point, and what I saw around me was like just crazy colors, and I saw, basically I didn't hear anything. Like usually when you do DMT trips, from what I hear, you hear this like loud ringing in your ears, but for me I didn't hear that at all. I just heard like it was almost like everything was muted. You couldn't really hear anything, and everything was slowed down so much. Like all of the sounds were slowed, and I looked around and everything I saw just looked so dead, like everything. And there were these 2 big palm trees in front of me, and you could tell that like they turned into like entities. They didn't turn into them, but like you could feel the presence of an entity, and it wasn't scary really, it was just kind of strange. But yeah, these palm trees were like, they didn't have eyes and stuff like this, like, but you could tell that they were like alive, and they had like, I guess power, I think is the only way I can describe it. They had power, or something like this, and they like meant something more. Like it wasn't just a palm tree, it was like something else. So it was pretty crazy. And I kept like opening, I didn't know whether to keep my eyes open or closed. So it was just crazy, and then you could feel like reality like just melting away completely, and it was just so crazy. Basically, you could just feel everything collapsing in on itself, and you can really see how like reality is just an illusion. It was a pretty crazy experience. I don't know whether the LSD had anything to do with my experience, but like at this point I probably could have taken more, because it only lasted for 5 minutes. Like I could control like whether I was in or out of this DMT trip, like just because I didn't have nearly enough DMT. But that was kind of just like my introduction to psychedelics. And you know what's strange is this whole time, like I didn't have a bad trip at fucking all. Like it was actually such a beautiful trip, like the whole thing. And I could feel like waves of like anxiety coming at some points during the night, because I was still on LSD, so I didn't sleep at all that night. But I don't know, I felt so good, and I just felt more connected than anything. Like, I probably could have been way more freaked out. Like, in reality, I was in this huge house that I'd never been to, all alone, and it could have been really scary. And I was, yeah, I haven't been alone in like 5-6 months because I've been backpacking and living with people. So I had this whole house to myself, and it could have been really scary, but it wasn't at all. Like, it was just so amazing. Like, I felt so connected. I slept that night with I had a window above my bed, and you could keep it open, and I just had the window open all night, and I could look up and I could see the stars and hear like the crickets, and it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was insane. So that was kind of my trip. I definitely would do DMT again, for sure. It was just amazing, but I don't know what it would be like to do a full trip. But yeah, it was just such a really cool experience. Maybe I will remake this video sometime because I feel like it deserves more attention, but it's so difficult. Like, if you don't know me, I am backpacking Australia at the moment. I'm kind of just living in hostels, and it's really difficult to record because you don't really have privacy. Like, now I'm at the beach, and I probably shouldn't even be talking about this at the beach, but you have to work with what you can, you know. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask or leave it in the comments, and I will get back to you soon. See you guys, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.